I do think this is a good opportunity, and I hate to make it sound like we have to fill an Asian quota or something like that, because that's not really what I'm after. I say this more in terms of it'd be nice to get some real diversity in the cast. So I do think this could be a good opportunity to maybe have one or two Asian characters. And, in fact, if they really wanted to throw a nice bone to the fans, and I say this with complete genuineness, I've not met a nationality that's been more devoted and truly knowledgeable about the Hunger Games, Harry Potter, this series, than people from the Philippines. That's a huge shout-out to not only Hunger Games Philippines, but all the Filipina fans out there. People like Tiffany, who's half Pine, I believe. I think it would be great to yes, it would be great to have a representative from that great nation. Maybe Manny Pacquiao, in a surprising role, puts down his boxing gloves and his political career and shows that aside from being a really muscular fighter, he can also be an intellectual who wears glasses and saves the day. So that's going to be my crazy off-the-wall Beetee suggestion, which has no grounding or merit whatsoever. And for Wirus, I don't know. Can we come back to me on Wirus? I'll go at the end. I'm still thinking about it.
All right. Ariel, what about you? Do you have a favorite Beetee and Wirus or Wirus?
For Wirus, I could see Helena Bonham Carter, even though, yes, she's been in everything. But actually, now that Ali Sheedy was brought up, I could totally see that. And my ideal Beetee so far, I quite like Hank Azaria. Yay.
I like that too, actually.
Yeah, I was just looking. A few people, or at least one person, mentioned Hank Azaria in the comments on our promo post. So that's a super interesting suggestion. And if you listeners don't know who Ali Sheedy is, she was a member of the Brat Pack in the 80s.
God.
She was in a bunch of John Hughes movies. Probably her most notable role was in The Breakfast Club, and she played the crazy girl who sat in the back of the room and was just kind of nutty. So I think a lot of people see her in that role and think, that could totally be Wirus. So go rent The Breakfast Club so you guys know who Ali Sheedy is.
Well?
Sorry, what was that, Adam?
Right? Wasn't she in 16 Candles also?
No, I don't think she was in 16 Candles.
I don't know. Molly Ringwald was in 16 Candles.
Molly Ringwald was Fire. St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking of St. Elmo's Fire. I got them mixed up. That's the one I meant.
Yeah.
Candles, Fire, Girl on Fire, it all kind of like...
Rob Lowe,
Rob Lowe.
How about Rob Lowe for Beetee?
Rob Lowe for Plutarch Heavensby.
Actually, I really like that idea. Rob Lowe for Beetee.
Okay. Let's see. We're going in alphabetical order. Crystal had to leave, so that means that Mary is next. Ideal Beetee and or Wirus?
Well, since we've been talking, I still say Michael Emerson for Beetee. I do. I just like him all around. Even though he has that, lost behind him, I still think he would make a good one. And since we've been talking about Allison, I think I would vote for her to be Wirus a lot. I think she would do well.
Let's see. Who is next? I think that it is Sam. LMNOPQR. Oh, no, it's Rebekah. I don't know my alphabet. Rebekah, who are your ideal Beetee and Wirus as of today, May 14th, 2012?
My ideal Beetee, and I'm going to tweet the link to a couple of articles that I wrote. So they've fan casted this character several times. My ideal Beetee is David Tennant, who everyone should hopefully know as the 10th Doctor on Doctor Who, but he's done a hell of a lot more than Doctor Who. This guy has been working since he was 16 years old. if you just know him from Doctor Who, is, you know, slightly nerdy, but he is kind of a nerd. He's like a self-proclaimed complete geek.
He's also a Death Eater, by the way. I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's right. What most American audiences would know him mostly from playing Wordy Crouch Jr. in one of the Harry Potter movies, but he's done everything from being a romantic lead to like a war hero to doctors to lawyers. He hasn't played an Indian chief, though. I'm sorry.
And he is the person that you said was skinny but not tall.
He is skinny. This guy is probably like 150 pounds, dripping wet. He's 6 feet tall.
So do you think that still applies as
I do. Small is open to interpretation.
Okay.
In my world.
And what about Wirus?
Wirus? I have several ideas for Wirus, but going along, I just thought of this today, and I thought of her today, and I think it could work. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but going with the Lost trend, Yunjin Kim.
Ooh.
Who played Sun. She is the exact same age as Paula Malcolmson. She's 42. She's Asian. You know, you want to throw that stand for having someone to play one of the characters being Asian. I mean, she's Asian and she's full on Asian. She's from Seoul, South Korea.
And she's such a great actress. I really love her.
Great actress. She's done more than Lost, though.
I can actually picture her as Wirus, just because Sun had so many like breakdowns on Lost. That's kind of a bad parallel to draw.
She can do the space out, look off into the distance.
Yes, she can.
She can do it. She also looks good. She looks good on a beach.
Yes, she does. Okay. Sam, finally, I have my alphabet straight. Who do you have an ideal Beetee and or Wirus?
Well, you know, I was initially going to come in and say I kind of wanted unknowns, people I hadn't heard of before, just because when I read the books, I didn't particularly have a certain actor, someone that I imagined in my head, so I really wanted to kind of be surprised by who they cast, which probably will be anyway. But then Rebekah completely changed my mind with David Tennant as Beetee, because that would be absolutely perfect. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that before.
I know.
So, no, I would love David Tennant as Beetee. That would be just awesome. But as far as Wirus goes, I really don't have a preference. I mean, I kind of just want to be, like I said, I just want to be surprised by who they cast and kind of have a new face in my mind, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I can respect that. I'm next. I have always loved Michael Emerson as Beetee. He's actually who I pictured while I was reading the books. But just to be different and to throw out someone who probably won't be cast because he's very tall, Rebekah got me thinking about English actors, and I think that Benedict Cumberbatch could be a really cool Beetee.
Ooh, yeah.
But that's because, you know, I'm obsessed with Sherlock. I'm obsessed with Benedict Cumberbatch. But he's 6 feet tall, and he's really not small. But he does have very, very pale skin and dark hair.
He's skinny, so come on.
Yeah, he is really. He's like David Tennant, I think. They're both. I think they have like the same build, basically.
They do. He was almost cast as the Doctor, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wanted him.
Been
but he said, no.
Awesome.
He said no.
So I'll just throw that out there, and then for Wirus, ever since I saw Ali Sheedy mentioned, I can't stop thinking about Ali Sheedy as Wirus. So I think that would be awesome. Who is next? I guess it's Theresa.
Mhm. Well, like I said before. Oh, stop. Like I said before, no one is going to fit my definition of who Beetee is. I mean, as far as who I've got pictures in my head, but I do like the idea of David Tennant.
think that is a brilliant idea. Actually, I think he would bring a lot to the role, and I really like that idea. And as far as Violet, I can't even say her name tonight. As far as Violet says, I can't. I think I kind of would like to be surprised on her as to who comes in, because I don't know. She has a big role, but yet, I mean, she plays an important part, but yet she has a very small role. So it will be, we could be completely surprised to who they bring in for it because of that. Because unless they beef her up a little bit. I mean, it's like you're going to come in there and go, okay, here's the script, and oh, by the way, you get your throat slit at this point, and you're going tick-tock most of the time. So, it's.
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it's I'm laughing anyway.
Well, no, but it's like, I mean, as compared to, some of the other ones, she's more, her character as compared to Beetee is more on the line of bringing Dio in and, Amon, things like that, bringing someone in who's not well known, but
right.
Who will do a really good job in the role just because it is a smaller piece. So,
last but certainly not least,
I want to hear an LA executive perspective coming here, a future LA executive from the half Pinay lady mentioned earlier in this program, Miss Tiffany Gustansky.
Okay, well, I've recently gotten on this bandwagon, and I did a post on Victor's Village about it. Ben Falcone, who is Melissa McCarthy's husband, he played the air marshal in Bridesmaids. He's also going to be playing Elizabeth Banks' husband in What to Expect When You're Expecting. So he's kind of got an in as far as Elizabeth Banks, and it's also a Lionsgate movie, so they know who he is. And he kind of he's got dark hair and he's kind of short, and he looks about that age.
I still want to know where he was hiding that gun. That's what I'd like to know when he was the air marshal. It never got fully explained. Just pointing that out.
You just had it.
No, I think it's a really interesting choice, Tiffany, and I knew we could count on you for something a little bit different.